Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Jumiati Nihaya. I'm a student of Islamic Civilization and the third semester. Now I would like to give an opinion about the book that I've read. The title is Islamic Trend on the 20th Century by Murod Hofman. He comes from Germany, and he has many thoughts about Islam. So in this book, he not always criticize the non-Muslim from the non-Muslim sides, but also criticize Muslim themselves, because as we know that nowadays we can see many Muslim in this world, but they who have a strong belief and the right belief on Islam itself and Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, it's only a few of them. So Hofman Mufrad give critical writing about Islam in the 20th century, and in this book he wants to Muslims show that Islam is not only a religion, but Islam is the only one religion as the alternative religion in this world. So in this book there are 7 chapters, and the first is about the future of Islam. So in this book he said that there are 3 groups that have the different opinion about the growth of Islam and the future of Islam. And the first group, they have opinion that Islam is going to be worse and worse time by time, because there is some what we call it decrease in Islam society from the Muhammad SAW era until now. So from the Muhammad SAW is the best society, the best civilization at that time, in this case of Islamic growth, and the second era is worse, and the next era is worse and worse time by time. And in the second condition, second groups has an opinion that Islamic growth is like a spiral. So sometimes it can be in the up of the growth, it's like increased, and sometimes it's in the bottom of the growth, or getting decreased. So we cannot in their opinion we cannot judge that Islam is always in the top of the Islamic growth, or the bottom is in Islamic growth, but Islam growth can be both of them. So it's like a spiral. And the last group say that they are optimistic that Islam is going to be better and better time by time, and the three of the groups has a strong strong sunnah and strong thoughts about their opinion. So before they make their opinion, they take some sunnah and different sunnah, because they have a different thought. But in the last groups, although they are optimistic, they also being skeptical, because in the fact we can see that maybe the ideal society is not in this era, because the ideal society or civilization is in the Muhammad SAW era. They are skeptical that the Muhammad SAW society is going to be formed in this era, because as we know that maybe when Muhammad SAW still alive, many Muslims can take many subjects matter. They can ask many things to Muhammad SAW, but now on they are not other with the prophet after Muhammad SAW as well. And besides that, they are difficult to find leader that have a strong strong leadership who can lead the Islam now. So they are skeptical that if the ideal society in Rasulullah Islam could be formed again. It makes Muhammad Abdul, he is a Sufi from France. It makes Muhammad Abdul say that Islam has left Islamic world because he find many Muslim, but he's not find a few of Islam. He just find a few of Islam. So from this chapter we could say that maybe from Islam itself and Islamic society, Islamic civilization couldn't be formed again if the Muslim itself cannot have a strong belief in Allah and strong belief in their beliefness. So maybe it's impossible to be formed. And the second chapter, entitled "The Little Bit Optimism." So this is about the optimism of Hofman Seorang's thoughts about Islam, that actually the worst condition of Muslims not only from now in the modern era, but it also happened in long time ago. So Burkhardt, Richard Burton, and Richard von Malsen said that in Kaabah areas there are many prostitution. Many of them can find alcohol and pig's meat and something like that. Now not from now, but from long time ago. Depends on their their experience for living there. And according to Burkhardt, in 1814, pilgrims, the number of pilgrims is 70,000, and it's being decreased, and it at the 1840, it's become the number of pilgrims become 30,000 only. But if we take a look from now, the number of Islamists, the number of pilgrim, is going to be bigger and bigger. For example, in Indonesia, the number of pilgrim is very big. As if they want to be a pilgrim, they have to take a turn from long time ago, and they have to make a line. They have to give their form, their application to the pilgrims. What's that? People who so if we take a look from that, many the candidates of pilgrim have a long line as they give their application to the ambassador, that they have to give the application about 4 years before they become a real pilgrim. So there's a good side where we can see the growth numbers of pilgrims in this world is going to be bigger and bigger. And that's not only in Indonesia, it happens only in Malaysia, in Europe, and other countries. And the next points that I've taken, that Islamic studies not only use method Lawrence Arab, where the missions that's the missions of England's imperialism. So now we can see that the Islamic studies use the method that use the method that is used by students from Europe, and they became mu'allaf after they study deeper about the Islam. And that's a good side, because as we know that maybe many missionarism study about Islam, but there are still missionarism of Christian, and they are not become mu'allaf or something like that. But if we take a look in this fact, the Islamic studies taken by the students of Europe, and the big deal of them becomes mu'allaf. That the ones of the positive growth of Islam that we can see at that time. And the third chapter is which Christian see the Christian fact. So if we could study deeper about Christian, actually there are what I've said, their shelf is there lies many sites and many studies about their own religion. So if we can see now, many pure Christian has been declared as the bad side of Christian because of the Concile of Nicaea. After the Concile of Nicaea, the first Constantine, the pure Christian has a big different side of thinking after that, because in Concile in Nicaea, the Concile in Nicaea at that time, it is found that the Constantine there's in 325. So the king of the Rome, that is Constantine, the first Constantine, he makes people to be a paganism, and they make a concile that he declares that Isa is the son of the God. He's the God himself, not a creator, but he become the God because of Allah, and have a substantial of Allah itself. So after this concile, that is in May 20th, there are 225 people at that time, Christian, and they talk about that concile, and they were agree at that concile. So the pure Christian was what's that? At that time, the pure Christian, they make the pure Christian think what the concile has declared. So after that time, there are no Christian that really believe that they are Christian. So the concile in Nicaea created a big change at that time. So the mindset of Christian has been changed, become the wrong side of Christian, and after that many change, many they did many change also in their Bible. So nowadays we can see that there are many kinds of Bible. There what's that? The Old Testament and the New Testament. So it proves that actually Christian has a what's that? They are criticized by Hofman Murod that actually they lost their self in their mindset because of start from Concil in Nicaea, and after that the fourth chapter talk about the enemy of Islam. So Hofman Murod in this book said that actually the enemy of Islam is not about Western or Europe or Christian or something like that. Actually, he said that it's about the minority of people that believe in Allah with the right and the strong belief, and the majority of them that who's not believe in Allah and who's not have a strong belief on that. So actually the enemy of Islam itself, it's the majority, the big deal of people who's not believe in Allah. So that's not about Christian anymore. That's not about Western anymore. That's not about Europe or something like that. It's all about people who's not believe who doesn't believe in Islam and in Allah and in Allah's rule. So from nowadays we have to change our mindset that all of the faults is from Western, all of the faults from the missionaries or something like that. But we have to change our mind that actually the enemy of Islam is people who hasn't believed in Islam. It's not about Western or Eastern. It's about truth and lies. And the next chapter is Islam and Western, the other perspective. So in his perspective, nowadays we may not blame Western. We may not judge the civilization of Euro-America that has neo-imperialism is want to what's that? Want to destroy Islam. We may not blame them about that. So it's we have to in Hofman Murod's opinion, we have to think more about that, because actually the decrease of Islam is not purely from Western fault, because as we know that nowadays many people believe in Islam, but they are not believe in their self. They still skeptical about their identity. So it's like the crisis of identity itself. And in this matter, he also talked about the double standard that the double standard from Western. They always blame Islam when Muslim do a bit errors from their eyes, from from this perspective. So everything that Muslims do is wrong from them. So from this fundamental thoughts, it makes them automatically become the enemy of Islam, because they're not they doesn't like Islam from their heart. They doesn't like Islam from the heart. So everything that Muslim do is wrong from them. For example, in this book, Hofman would give an example of the poor people of Islam who eat something from them. They will judge them that that Muslim is bad. But if if some Christian do the same thing, they will not judge them as well as what they judge to Islam. So it makes a different perspective when someone give the mindset, the bad mindset about Islam, he will always face that Islam is bad. That's the truth. From psychologists, I think that's logical. So we cannot blame Europe, we cannot blame America because of that, but it's about their mindset. So if their mindset's not like that, maybe Islam is better, because what they've seen from Islam is not all what they've seen from Islam. So for example, one of the groups of Islam, one of the different group from Islam, for example, Wahhabi, maybe they become they do the wrong thing in front of the Christian, then the Christian will think that all of Islam do the same. So when someone becomes terrorist and his religion is Islam, a Christian will set their mindset that all of Islam is terrorist. That's the wrong side. So in this book, in the 6th and 7th chapter, Hofman Murod give a critical opinion and critical problem solve that can make Muslim become better and better, because actually there are some characters that Muslim can do and Muslim can thought about more about the Islamic growth. And the first is about the technology. As we know that technology, maybe we can make it simpler, that is media. Maybe we can see that media can be the king of the world, because media can say everything and media can judge everything from many sides. And now Christian use the media to make Muslim become worse in the world's eyes. So maybe from media we can use the better side, the better thought about Islam. So maybe Islam become a better and better from the media. So we can take one experience that actually Islam have many kinds of media, but they are still old and they still have limitation in using the media. So they cannot be they cannot explore their emotion, they cannot explore their thought, they cannot explore their feeling when Christian said blah 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 blah, the bad things about Islam. So maybe from Hofman Murod opinion we can take a note that from media we can optimize, we can make it optimal, that maybe Muslim can make the right side, the right opinion, the right declaration, that some things in Muslims, some things that in the subject matter of Islam that is thought that is bad thought by Christian can be changed in the right side of Islamic from Islamic side. So actually from media we can show that maybe the other belief, the other people who's not Islam, non-Muslim, maybe we can show them that actually Islam is not that bad. So Islam have a different side from their thoughts and their belief in from their gods. Actually, that God is Allah. So maybe we can change their side from media the first. That's Hofman would take a backline and block in this subject matter. And the second, we can give a rights for women. So actually there's a important opinion of Hofman Murod that I have a different side that from Hofman Murod. Hofman Murod said that maybe in Turkey, maybe in Islamic countries, the women use hijab and their close all of their bodies, but maybe in other civilization, women may not use that because maybe the men will not really have a desire to have that. So actually I disagree with Hofman Murod's opinion about that, because in any condition, in any time, wherever the women, they have to wear hijab, because hijab is I think hijab, using hijab, wearing hijab is a must. Not that's not about fashion. That's a must, because that's the rule from Islam, and that's not only about where the women is. It's not only about the civilization of the country where women is, but it's about the rule of Islam. So I disagree about Hofman Murod said, but he give a good opinion about giving rights from for women, because maybe in our side, maybe in Islam, we can see that women is given the real rights, and that's fair, because men and women has a different obligation. They have different condition, and it makes the role of Islam appropriate to men and women. So actually there's not a problem with that, but maybe Western still thought that that's not fair. Maybe we can use the first opinion that we have to optimalize using media. We can use it as to declare that actually the rights of women in Islam, it's totally fair. And the third, is about human rights. So as we could see, many people said that they haven't got human rights. Maybe it's we can see from Murtadin. Murtadin said that when they were Muslim, they haven't got the fair right. But actually, if they could study deeper about Islam, and they can be positive thinking on that, maybe they will be able to feel that the rule of Islam is totally fair. This not only about human rights, but also in every field of life. Allah gives the fair condition and the fair rights for all Muslims, whether they are men or women. And the fourth is the theory of government and economic. So Western may say that the rule of Islam may give the different condition that make a Muslim become what's that? Just like alienation. But if we can take deeper, actually they are not the rule either in Al-Quran or Hadith that states that in this subject matter Muslim have to use this in this the rule of government. So in every rule of government there are no rule that judge people have to be this like this or like that, but we may explore ourselves and our thoughts, how to manage the governments, how to manage the countries, how to choose the leaders, and everything about countries and economics is free in Islam, except riba in the matter of economic. So Hofman Murod have a thought that Islam have to show the critical of the truth side of Islam, maybe from media or something like that. In the subject matter of technology, we have to optimize the use of technology to show that Islam is not that bad. Islam is not the worse in the Western thought. And after that, it's about magic. So actually Western may not judge that in Islam they still use magics and something like that when they do many events. Traditional events, they may use magics and etc. But if we cannot see deeper from that, actually Western still use it as well. So maybe we can see from Africa, who's not Islam, they still believe in magic. They still believe in spiritual thoughts of their background and their father's beliefs and etc. So they may not judge the Muslim. Only Muslims still use magics because there are many kinds of Muslim and they have many kinds of civilization and they have many kinds of culture. So actually some cultures maybe believe on magic, but actually Islam comes not to change their beliefs. Islam comes to make it better. So we could criticize it from that side. And the last is about telecommunication. So as well as the first statement about technology, we could use technology, communication and something like that to communicate Islam in the right side to them from using media, telecommunication and what's that, technology. Because when we use media, we may not only use it to declare that Islam is like this and that, but we have to be able to change their mind that Islam is not that bad from our speech, from our ability in communication. So communication, media, technology can be worked together to make Islam to be better than before. And we as Islam, we have to think that we are not only Muslim as in our license, but we have to be the real Muslim, not only from our thoughts, not only from our behavior or our appearance, but also become a Muslim from our heart. We have to show that actually Muslim is not bad. So I have a what's that? I have an experience about cross-culture understanding. I have a friend who comes from Germany. He always thinking and asking to himself, why didn't I shaking hands to them? But then I explained to him that actually shaking hands is not allowed in Islam. If they are shaking hands with their with non-mahram. So we have at that time I said that actually that's I didn't shaking hand because I want to keep myself from zina, because when we shake our if we shake hands, it may take what's the big possibilities to do more and more. So I want to keep myself not from you, but myself from the bad thing that may going to be done to myself. So I want to keep myself. The first is from not shaking hands to them, and after that he understand that and he can accepted that. So at the other time I give explanation and to foreigners that when I meet them I can shaking hands, but I can do something like this, or maybe just smiling, or maybe directly bring into conversation. So actually from the way I communicate, the way I talk, the way I give explanation to them, make them believe that Islam's like this, Islam's like Islam is not that bad. Islam has a different side, different rules from their religions, and they can accept that. And in this in and it some cases, some of them even want to know more about Islam. They want to know what is Salat, what we do when we are praying. They want to know deeper. That's only from the way I speak, the way I communicate to them. So in this book, Hofman Murod also have a strong belief that from communication, media, and technology, we can change the Western mind about Islam itself. We can make it better and better, and it's not only for us. It's not only for ourselves. It's also more about Islam. It's for Islam and it's for the growth of Islam. Okay, I think that's all for my presentation about this book, and I take a note that maybe Islam, and not maybe, it's a must. Islam is the only one. Islam is the one who is that is appropriate to be the alternative religion to all of people in this world. So we can we may not judge something from the cover, or maybe the Western say that the cover of Islam is only terrorist, but they have to learn deeper about the Islam itself. So don't ever judge something from the cover, but we have to learn more about it. So I think that's enough for my presentation, and thank you all for giving me this time. It's 40 minutes point 20 30. Okay, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.